everyone, it's Nicole and Rue. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I am partnering up with Cirque Colors to share their part 2 to the Dream Polish collaboration. You might remember from earlier this year, Cirque was running a promotion where you could create your own Dream Polish with Cirque. So for this video, I'm going to be sharing the 2 newest polishes to the Dream Polish collab, as well as showing the polishes from earlier this year that were in the part 1 for this release. For the month of December, Cirque has been doing some really fun promotions, and they're also doing a gift with purchase for all orders placed in the month of December. All orders over $40 for the entire month of December gets this really nifty charm set. I'll show some close-ups and more details about this charm set later in the video. The Dream Polish collab part 1 and part 2 are available right now on the Cirque Colors website. You can use my affiliate code, which is Nicole Loves Nails, to save 10% off the entire website. The Dream Polish collabs part 1 and 2 are available right now on the Cirque Colors website. All of the polishes in this release are going to be limited edition. Thank you very much to Cirque Colors for sponsoring today's video. I greatly appreciate the support. I will have all the pricing and sale information towards the end of the video. As always, in the description box, I'll have links where you can pick these polishes up. I'll have links to the Cirque Colors social media pages, my social media pages, and of course, timestamps as well. And as always, all my final thoughts and feelings for the end of the video. Let's get right into this one. Before we get into the swatches, I did also want to take time to show that the cartons for these polishes do come in special custom packaging. To kick off the video, I'm going to start with the part 1 polishes to the Dream Polish collab. The first polish up is called Magic Meadow. This is going to be a thermal nail polish. If you are new to thermals, thermal nail polishes change color depending on temperature. For this particular shade, Cirque describes the coldest state as being a verdant emerald teal green, and the warm state is a grass green when warm. On top of this nail polish, I have color changing elements. It also has holographic. Magic Meadow had a really good but slightly thicker formula. I find oftentimes for Cirque's thermal formula that they tend to be a bit more on the sheer side. I feel like it leads somewhere between being a crelly and a jelly, so you have really to build this one up to get more opacity going. But I did still find that in 3 coats, I do still have visible nailing with this shade, especially in the warmest state. For my own personal descriptions for the colors of this particular shade, I feel like in the coldest state, this is kind of like a deep green that leans a bit more in the teal family. And then for the warmest state, I found it's a light green that has like a little bit of yellow in it. Not so much that I would call it a chartreuse, but I feel like it's going in that color direction. Because of the difference in colors between the warm state and the cold state, I do find with this particular shade, you get a lot of different variety of tones of green on your nails, all the way from like that super light yellowy greenish kind of color all the way up to like a more teal leaning green. So the first time that I did wear this shade a few months ago, I did find that it applied a little bit strangely over my peel off base coat. For this go around, I did not have that same experience, but I still would recommend if you wear a peel off base coat, especially one that's water based, I would recommend wearing like a normal base coat on top of your peel off base coat to make sure that this applies properly. I found the thermal aspect of this polish to be very reactive. The first time that I swatched this polish out, it was early August, so my bottle is a few months old now. I did not find that the thermal aspect of this one changed in any way. It was still very reactive on me. It is currently fairly cold here in Connecticut. Oh, hell no. So when I brought this one outside for my natural light shots, my hands got really cold really quickly, so you can see the polish changing as like my hands get colder and colder. And yes, I did blast my hand with a hairdryer before I went outside to try to get the warm state in natural lighting. I feel very strong this one's likely to be a solid 3-coater just to get the most opacity as well to build up full evenness for all of the layers. I found that even though this one is on the thicker side, I did not find it difficult to apply. It applied fairly evenly. There is a lot of holographic in this polish. I do find that the individual particles themselves are fairly small, so while this one does have like a lot of holographic glitter, it doesn't dry down like super gritty. I have found one layer of top coat smooths everything out pretty nicely for me, and I don't need to do like a second coat to smooth anything out. But how many coats of top coat you use is going to come down to how thick your top coat is, in my opinion. I would recommend the soak off method for this particular shade. While the glitters don't dry down overly textured, I still would not recommend scrubbing them off because it's glitter. Why would you do that? I used a peel off base coat for the shade, and I find that it peeled really, really nicely. And this polish also dries down very dull, so you will want top coat to bring life back to it as well. This next polish up is called Red Sprite. And Cirque describes this one as a deep turquoise nail polish base with a red magnetic pigment as well as silver light reflective glitter. Red Sprite also had a really good but thicker formula. I found this one applied really nicely. I personally prefer this shade built up in 3 coats. I found this one magnetizes very nicely for me. I personally prefer this one magnetized in the velvet effect. I do find find that especially when you magnetize it in the cat eye effect, it does sheer out quite a bit magnetized. So because this one does sheer out when magnetized, I personally recommend only magnetizing your final layer. I can't get with y'all on this whole magnetizing every single layer. I don't see the point. I feel like you lose so much opacity doing it that way, but do what you want, I guess.
Not for me, mate.
This does magnetize really beautifully though. Because the base in here is this kind of deep, cool turquoisey color, I did find that even though the reflective glitter in here is silver, the flash reflectiveness of this one kind of looks like it's colored even though it's not. It's just kind of tinted from the base color. And because this is reflective glitter we're talking about, I would recommend at least 2 layers of top coat to smooth everything out for this particular shade. Reflective glitter tends to be pretty gritty. For my full-hand swatches for Red Sprite, my pointer finger is unmagnetized, my middle nail is magnetized with the velvet effect, and my ring finger and pinky are magnetized with the cat eye effect. As I mentioned, this one does sheer out quite a bit, so I did have some visible nail line with this shade. I'm usually not team where your magnetic polish is unmagnetized, but I feel like for this particular shade, it looks really good unmagnetized as well. So as always, I do recommend if you're at all concerned about any kind of staining, wear at least 2 layers of a protective base coat. Just doing like a peel-off base coat and a regular base coat's not enough. Do something that's more protective like a ridge filling base coat. I really like the look of the particle size of the magnetic pigment in this particular polish. I did not personally experience any staining with this shade. However, I generally find colors like this tend to be stainers on my natural nails, but I did not personally experience staining when I wore this shade. And if you are new to magnetics, for my swatches for this shade, I held the magnet over my nail for about 45-ish seconds. I would recommend magnetizing for up to about a minute for each layer for your magnetization, just across the board for magnetics. If you are like me and you cannot be that patient, I do find that for about 30-ish seconds was okay for me. I did use the Cirque Colors top coat for my swatches for this polish, and I didn't find that that caused the magnetic like particles to disperse too bad. The following day after I swatched this one, I did find that for my cat eye nails that did kind of disperse a little bit, but it wasn't like a blob. These next 2 polishes are for the Dream Polish Part 2 to the collab. So the first polish up we have is called Tailfeather, and Cirque describes this as a teal nail polish with rainbow iridescent flakies and a scattered holographic effect. Tailfeather had a fantastic formula. I was absolutely in love with this shade. Y'all know how I feel about rainbows. The flakies in here are absolutely stunning. I did find that the teal base is a jelly base, so you definitely want to build this one up. I did find that this applied really evenly, so for my swatches, I did opt to swatch it in 3 coats, but that was largely because I really wanted flakies on my nails. Truthfully. Coverage was definitely even enough that I could have stopped into, but it definitely would have been significantly more sheer. I did find that the flakies are on the medium to slightly larger side, not so large that they behave like glitters. These are definitely like the flaky level of texture, and I didn't have to like finesse my brush around to move them around. They applied very evenly. I was seeing a whole rainbow of flakies on my nails. I was seeing pink, yellow, green, teal, blue, purple. It was overall super, super pretty. I did find that while I could very easily see the holographic on my nails, I feel like the flakies are definitely the star of the show, and you just get kind of like pops of like mini rainbows within the flaky rainbows. This polish does dry down a little bit dull, so you will for sure want some glossy top coat to bring life back to the polish. I found 1 layer of the Cirque Colors top coat smoothed everything out perfectly for me. I found that the teal base itself, it didn't lean overly blue or green. I feel like it's very firmly in the teal category. I would, however, recommend the soak off method for this particular shade. There's just so many flakies in here that scrubbing this one off is going to be an absolute mess and pain in the butt, so definitely use the soak off method or a peel off base coat. I don't know why French keeps coming up on this channel, but it does. So y'all are gonna have to forgive me on my pronunciation for this one. This next polish up is called La Rogueanne? Rogueanne? I think Rogueanne. Rogueanne. La Rogueanne. Yeah. La Rogueanne. Let's go with that. And Cirque describes this one as a deep black cherry red nail polish with silver flash reflective glitters, as well as having pink, gold, green color shifting aurora shimmer and a sprinkle of scattered holographic glitter. AKA, this polish has everything. La Rogueanne had a fantastic formula. I love this polish 2 pieces. Cirque does describe this one as being in their Spotlight Shimmers formulation. I have absolutely been loving when Cirque does these combinations of the light reflective glitter paired with the holographic glitter. In my personal opinion, you get the best of both sparkle worlds. I did, however, find La Rogueanne was definitely on the thicker side, which was not terribly surprising since this one does have reflective glitter in it. The reflective glitter and the holographic glitter does cause this polish to dry down very textured and also pretty dull. My Flayan swatches show La Rogueanne in 2 coats plus 2 layers of top coat. I will, however, call this one a 2 to 3 coater depending on your personal preference. I found for my current nail length, I was really happy with only 2 layers. I think for those of you with significantly longer nails, you might need a 3rd coat. The shimmer particles in this one kind of look glittery on the nail. I thought that was kind of fun. I've been really liking shimmers that look like glitter on the nail for some reason, so I had really liked this one. And I was also seeing that color shifty goodness that Cirque did describe with this shade. Because this one does have a whole lot of glitter in it, I would definitely recommend the soak off method or a peel off base coat for removal. I did not personally experience staining, but as always, double up on your base coat if you're really that concerned about staining. First, for the comparisons, we have Tailfeather over here. I surprisingly don't have a lot of flaky polishes from Cirque. The closest one that I had was Serpentine, which is right here. Because this is very clearly a green base and this is more tealy turquoisey, I also pulled out Elixir of Everlasting Life. This is actually a shimmer graphic, so the finish is different, but I was hoping that the base colors would be kind of similar, but I feel like the base color on Elixir of Everlasting Life is a lot more green leaning. The next up for comparison right here, we have Magic Meadow. I really had wanted to compare this one to Magic Turquoise, which is right here. This was the only other kind of greenish thermal that I had from the brand that I thought would be similar color-wise. So currently they are in the cold state. All right, I just blasted it really quick with my hairdryer so you can see the difference in the warm states. The warm state of Magic Meadow, again, is that kind of like greenish that leans almost towards chartreuse. And the warm state of Magic Turquoise is more of like an aqua-ish kind of color. Side note, Cirque, please restock this shade because I love it and I think people really want it as well. And also another difference between Magic Meadow and Magic Turquoise is Magic Meadow has holographic glitters in it, and Magic Turquoise has more of like a kind of chromy looking flaky in it. And next up for comparing La Rogueanne, I pulled out Cirque's Cabernet Kisses. Cabernet Kisses was a special gift with purchase shade from this past July. La Rogueanne is one of Cirque's spotlight shimmers, so it has reflective glitter in it, whereas Cabernet Kisses has holographic glitter in it, so the finishes between the two are different. I found that to the naked eye, I feel like the shimmer effect on both polishes is also different. The shimmer in La Rogueanne has a bit more of like a textured look to it. Like again, I feel like these look kind of like glitter shimmers, whereas the shimmer in Cabernet Kisses is a lot smoother and it's more of a pink color. I think the color shift is a bit more prominent in La Rogueanne than it is in Cabernet Kisses. I feel like these do have kind of similar vibes, but because the overall finishes are different, they're definitely not dupes, but I feel like they're kind of not necessarily sisters, but maybe like in the cousin family. And the final comparison I have is Red Sprite. I was once again tricked by Fool's Paradise because I keep putting this back into the drawer that has all of like my greens and teals. I put the wrong cabochon on this one, and every time I go to look at it, I swear it's teal and it's actually purple. I think this is like the second time this has happened to me in a video that I pulled this one out for the wrong polish. To compare Red Sprite, I also pulled out Mood Ring right here, as well as Rising Star. I don't think any of these polishes are so similar that it's not justifiable to own them all. As we can see here for Red Sprite, this has that kind of like turquoisey base with the reflective glitter, and these other polishes do not have their same reflective glitter. However, Rising Star does also have reflective glitter in it, but the color of the magnetic pigment is different. This has more of kind of like a goldish greenish type of magnetic pigment, whereas Red Sprite has that kind of red colored magnetic pigment. I also found that the base on Rising Star is also quite a bit more opaque than the base is on Rising Star. So I feel like these are all fairly different. I do want to just take a moment to show the gift with purchase, which is this fun little charm set. Cirque calls this one the Celestial Charm. So inside of this little container, you're going to get little silver stars, silver crescent moons, and these little silver kind of, I'm just going to call them dots. I found these come out of the jar very easily and apply very easily as well. I feel like for application tips, if you don't have like a gemstone picker upper kind of tool, just having like a little orange wood stick and just kind of like dabbing, you know, I'm going to say, you know, put a little bit of moisture on the tip of an orange wood stick or a toothpick to kind of pick these up easier. But I feel like everyone is really just, you know, sticking it out their tongue to use a little bit of spit and not actually water. I really hope that it's not just me out here just going, ooh, and spit on that thing, you get me? Like that. I feel like that's normal. I admittedly am not super well versed on putting charms into regular nail polish, so what I did for these is I just used one layer of the Cirque Colors top coat, and while my top coat was still wet, I picked up each charm individually and just put it right into the wet nail polish, and then once that layer of top coat was dry, I put another layer of top coat on top of the charms. These charms are 3D, so they do dry down with some texture. You're going to want at least 2 layers of top coat to make them perfectly smooth. I only did 1 layer of top coat for mine. It's been about 24 hours since I first put these on, and I do have some significant texture where the charms are, but it's not bothering me personally. And since I'm still wearing these, I can't really speak on these specific ones for removal, but for the charms that I wore in the past, they definitely make removal significantly more difficult, kind of like a chunky glitter would. Use the soak off method and just soak for a little bit longer, or wear a peel off base coat to save yourself the stress. Alrighty, so final thoughts time. Unsurprisingly, I absolutely love this release. Y'all know how I feel about specialty formulas, so I thought both of these releases were fantastic. I really love that both of these collaborations have a variety of finishes. Y'all know I am a sucker for multi-finishes within a release. And even though these were both released in 2 different time periods, I feel like the colors themselves do in fact go well together. Similar to when I last spoke about the Dream Polish collab, I still don't know which one I'm gonna pick for my favorites. I really like that Magic Meadow is a thermal. I love thermals. I really like that Red Sprite is a magnetic because I really like magnetics, and the addition of the light reflective glitter, I really like that as well. As far as my own personal top picks from the new Dream Polish Club, I feel like Tailfeather is probably going to be my top pick from this one. I really like flakies, like a lot, maybe too much, but I love flakies. I love rainbow iridescent flakies. And I feel like when I had that one on my nails, I was just doing Owen Wilson wow all over the place. I was really enjoying myself with that one. As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Dream Polish Collabs Part 1 and 2 are available right now on the Cirque Colors website. You can buy all 4 polishes both individually as well as in a bundle listing of all 4, or in bundles of Part 1 and Part 2. If you are new to Cirque Colors, Cirque polishes are in 11 ml bottles. They are cruelty free as well as being vegan friendly. Cirque prices their polishes between $12.50 up to $16.50. And again, this release is also limited edition. And again, you can use my affiliate code, which is Nicole Loves Nails, to save 10% off of the entire website. For the bundle listings, those are already discounted, so my code won't stack on top of that. I'd love to know what everyone else thought of this release. Are you planning on picking it? Have you already picked it up? What do you think of parts 1 and 2? Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigans, Storming fans, your names, of course, all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there's a link for that in the description box, or you can click join next to the subscribe button. But as always, that is completely optional. Just make sure to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit that hype button. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely week, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!